In ethical hacking, we usually have a specific methodology, or we can say a specific phases. And this phases actually, it's what we are using as ethical hacker, or even malicious hacker are using the same phase. So when you decide to hack to a system after taking the approval, we usually do 5 different phases, and all the course it's covering those 5 phases. So we start by reconnaissance, and this will be the first part. Reconnaissance is to collect passive information from public record. I'm not interacting with the victim in any way. I'm just getting information about him. Then we are going to scan the system, and scan also it's to collect information, but active information. So I'm pinging on the system, I'm checking the open port, I'm checking the service. Then according to the information we gather in phase 1 and 2, we usually plan and implement our attack. So people do not just go and try attacks. You should collect information first. And actually, in real life, if you spend some amount of time in the first 2 phases, it will make the third phases much more easier. So I do not just try tools and try techniques. No, I have to collect and gather as much information as I can. I can tell you this process is taking 70% at least from the whole process. Once I gain access to the system, I need to maintain access. So I'm gaining access to a system, I did compromise the computer or a network. I don't want them when they restart the computer, then I'm gonna lose the connection. So I try to migrate my process. I'll try to create a backdoor. So there is different technique for maintaining access. And finally, they will clean and clear the tracks. So all logs, anything that indicates that I was there, it should be removed because this is an evidence. Now, maybe malicious hacker need to clear tracks because this is an evidence that can throw them in jail. Why you as an ethical hacker, you need to understand why, or you should clear tracks. Because by doing that, you're gonna evaluate their logging system. Is your customer have a good logging system? Or it's easy for a hacker to remove that, because after all this will be evidence. And maybe you are working or you are penetrating a place like a bank where the amount of information or the value of the information that they have worth a lot of money. So you need to evaluate their logging system. Is it effective or it's easy to manipulate? So this is the 5 phases that we're going to discuss during this course. And I'm going to start with the reconnaissance phase. So reconnaissance is to it's to collect or to gather some passive information. And why do I keep saying passive? Because passive information mean I do not interact with the victim. So for instance, if I go to their website, let's take any website. I'll take, for instance, www.easycounsel.org. Just by going through their website, this is one way for collecting information. I can know their activity, I can check for their location, I can check if they have a contact us, their Facebook page. So some information may be there, but I can check. If I go to a specific website, like assume a bank website, and they have a career on their website where they will be asking for instance, Unix administrator. Maybe this is an indication that they have Unix system. They need a network administrator or a Cisco certified. Maybe they have a Cisco infrastructure network. So going through the website, just give you a brief about, what they are doing, how many branches they have, do they have a contact menu, where is their location? So we start by there. It's quite simple, but we usually start by there. Then we can go with a site that will give more information about the size, like for instance whois.sc. By the way, for this specific section and all the upcoming section, I'm going to usually add resources, documents that have all those links. So you don't need to memorize link or write after me, you just need to trace them. But I'm going to usually add all the link in one file according related to the section. So each section will have a document that have all the link related to it. So if we, for instance, type something like that, so I need to know information about this specific domain, who is .source. It will give me the domain, to whom it has been registered, the IP location, first the IP, as you can see, and where is located, and the history of this IP. We may find information like when it has been registered, when it expired, the contact number of the administrator, their mailing address. So you're going to get a lot of information about this organization, because when you buy a domain, they usually ask for some of those information. Who's the contact number? What is his email? Where are you located? Do you have a fax number, a phone number? And those will be kept in public record. So this is also can be utilized. I know or actually I remember one of the cases that someone was like monitoring this information regarding a specific organization. It was a big organization, and he was just focusing on the expiration date, when this domain will expire. So he was able to get this piece of information. He know when it has been registered and when it will be expired, and he keep actually monitoring that until he got a chance. The domain, they didn't renew on time, or they waited for a while, so he went and he bought this domain. And because this was a very big organization, then this is very risky for them. If someone bought your domain and you are a bank, for instance, he can publish and he can say that he is the bank. So he put this domain on sales and he made a lot of money from that. I cannot say that this is not legal, because he bought a domain, he didn't do anything wrong. It's their mistake. But after all, this was actually one of the way he used to get money, monitoring big organization, expiration date. And he will not monitor something that will expire after 10 years, but he will monitor something that will expire after a few months. And then he's going to check, did they renew the domain or not? And he can take advantage of that. Another website that gives you information similar to that is called who.is. So if we go to this website, www.who.is, and we enter, we're going to get actually the same kind of information, but maybe different interface. So also you write the domain here or the IP, you get a lot of information about that. But we started going through the site right away, and we didn't explain what exactly we are looking for. In the reconnaissance phase, I don't have a checklist. I'm just searching. I mean, I'm just getting technical and non-technical information. Technical could be something like the IP of the domain, or the IP of the person, the DNS, the mail server, any information I can get. But the definition here is that reconnaissance should be passive. I should not communicate with the victim in any way, and this is actually 100% legal. So I'm going through public record, and I'm also looking for non-technical information, things like the company CEO name, email, phone numbers, location, employees' emails. This kind of information is extremely important. Maybe this will be used for social engineering, but usually we are working in two parallel paths. So I'm not just focusing about the technical path, I'm also focusing on the non-technical path. Now, what is the most important piece of information I need to get? Okay, if I'm planning to hack a system, or I'm planning to hack a server, or even if I'm planning to hack your own computer, a personal computer. Is it easy to do that? Yes. What is the small piece of information that the most important piece of information I need? It's the IP. So first thing you need to have is the victim IP. So how can I get a victim IP? I can get that from an email. And in a few seconds, I'm going to show you how, if someone sent you an email, you can open the header and you can check his IP. But what if he didn't send me an email? Can I get his IP? Yes, you can. And we're going to use now a service or a website that is actually was made for a good reason, but it's misused. And this is the email tracking service. So what do I mean by that? Let's assume that I'm sending you an email from my free mail, Gmail or Hotmail or Yahoo or anything. Can I trace it? Because this is very important. Can I check if you open this email and get a notification that someone or this person has opened this email on a specific date and time? In Outlook, maybe we have that, but on a free mail, we don't have such feature. But we have a third party that provides you such features that allow you to track the email. So a lot of websites are doing that. I'll give you a couple of examples. We have a site like readnotify.com or confirm.to. So many you can search on Google, but I'm gonna mention some major of them: readnotify.com or confirm.to. or didtheyreadityet.com. Actually, you're going to find many of them. So what happens is, if you go and create an account on one of those websites, for instance, and then whenever you send someone an email, for instance, let's assume that you are sending me an email. You created an account here. Most of them are free, by the way, or they may give you a couple of months free, something like that. And you go and you try to send me an email after creating an account, and assuming that my email or the email that you are sent to, it's victim@hotmail.com, and then you will not write the mail only in this format, victim@hotmail.com. This is your victim email. You put by the end of that .readnotify.com or .confirm.to or .didtheyreadityet.com. Depend on what exactly website did you register. And then we can type here test email, and you can type any subject, whatever. Now, and then you click on send. First, once the victim receives this email, he will not see this part. So he will not know that your email has been traced. So he will not see readnotify.com. He can only see that this mail has been sent to him. But on the other hand, you will be receiving an email once if the victim opens the email, telling you that the victim opened this email from this specific on this specific time and date from this specific location. And to give you an evidence, he will give you his IP. And which IP we are talking about? He will give you his public IP, his internet IP. The private IP, because usually any user has two different IP. He has a private IP that is used internally inside the network. And he has the public IP that he's getting from the ISP or internet service provider when he go online. So which one is more critical? Is the public IP. So he will get your public IP. And whoever created such a website, it was not for a bad use. It was just for if you are tracking your important email. So assume that I'm doing business with you and I'm sending you an email, and then you said I didn't receive it. How can I do something about that? So I can send you an email with a tracking. So if you tell me that you didn't receive it, I'm gonna say no, I'm sorry. You received it and you open it from this specific IP, and it's considered an evidence. But people misuse that, because now if you receive an email, just by opening this email, someone will get your IP, your public IP. And later on in this section, I'm going to show you, just by getting the IP, you can hack to the system. So I'm going to show you an advanced technique by the end of this section. So this is also a way for getting information about the victim, and this is very, very critical. As I told you, once you receive, especially if it was an individual, not an organization, if you receive their IP, and even organization, same concept apply. You receive their public IP, actually 50% of the effort, it's done. So this is actually one way for doing that, for getting the information. What else can I search for, what other information can I get? Technical information. I can do something like goes to a site like that, netcraft.com, and this website actually resolves the information to any website or web server. I mean, you give them a website, it will tell you the server that hosts this website, what operating systems they are using. So for instance, let's go down, here you go. It's a very good website, and also I don't consider that active, it's a passive because it's a website. So let me type easycouncil.org and let me search, and here's what I get. This is the server that they have www.this site. They have ASAP, they have CERT, they have ideas, and on each server they write down what operating systems they have. So this one is FreeBSD, this is the Linux. This one is they used to have Windows Server 2012, Windows Server 2008, and this is actually a very good piece of information. As I told you before, on the Reconnaissance section, I don't have a checklist. I'm just searching using some website and some tools and stuff like that. So I don't have a specific objective, just some passive information. So sometimes when I do a penetration testing and I check like some big organization, one of them was a bank, I found that one of the operating systems that they have on their server was Windows Server 2003. And this, for people in security, they know that this is very, very, very easy to compromise. So just by checking here, you get to know how strong they are. This organization, few months back, most of their server was Windows. Now, because Windows has some problems, they switched to Linux. So still I'm just gathering information. Now, all the information that I'm talking about are still technical information. Not that deep technical, but still those are technical information. One website they usually actually referring to, especially inside some of the ethical hacking exam, is this website, Archive. Archive is the Internet Archive. So if you type archives or Internet Archive, I'm sorry, it's www.archive.org. And this actually website can show you any website from the day it get hosted. So if you need to see a website 10 years ago, how it looked like, or if a website has been removed and you need to retrieve it, you can use this website. It's quite interesting. And it will give you an idea, because sometimes you have an organization who hosted a website, and at the beginning they put some information that should not be there, like the CEO email and mobile number, or the staff and the CFO and the organization. A lot of people are doing that, and this is security-wise is not right. So what if they removed that and they fix this problem? I can still retrieve this information by going to this specific website. Let me show you how it works. Okay, let me open it from Firefox. I don't know if you are facing that yourself or not, but actually Internet Explorer, in many cases, sometimes some of the website will not be working, some portal is not working. It has its own problem. So a lot of people recommend that you keep your default browser and anything else, because it's not a very friendly browser. And so let me open it from here. It seems that the site has a problem. There is a problem in connectivity, but you can get the name and you can check that yourself. And when you open it, you're going to find a field where you can write down any website, and it will show you the history of the website. It will give you like a calendar, and it will show you the dates where the site has been changed. So you can go like February 2006, and it will show you the modification done on this month. You click on any of those blue highlighted, and it will get you to this date. I can show you a snapshot. Okay, and we're gonna keep trying using this website, but it seems that it's for a specific reason the site is down, or I don't know, the site is down or my connection is down. So let's see the image of that. Yeah, most probably it's gonna work right now. So this is how it look like. You just write the website and it will give you the history of this website. Let me try to open it one more time. Internet Archive. Here you go. And as I told you, we go to any website. Let me go to www.iti.com.eg. Whatever site I'm writing, this is not like a site for testing. I'm just getting any random site. And because on this phase I'm not doing anything illegal, so anyone is allowed to do that. So you can see the site has been hosted in 2002 until 2015. So I can see the site right now, how it look like. Let me open it here, for instance. If I open it regular way, www.iti.com.eg, or so here you go. No, not this one. iti.com. Let me rewrite it. www.iti.com. If we open the site, and this is how the site today look like. Okay, let me open it like few years back in 2005, and when you open 2005, it will show you the dates where some modification was made. So I can open any one of those, and then we can compare how the site look like. So see how different they are. So if some information was posted during those time, you can keep you can get those information from there. So not just by removing the site you'll be safe. No, I can still retrieve on whatever was on this site. So this is the introduction to Reconnaissance, and this is how easy it is to get some information. We're going to cover some topics related to Reconnaissance in the upcoming video, but my objective in this video is to understand what exactly I'm looking for and how easy it is to get information using Reconnaissance. Thank you.